world is full of ghosts, horrors, and spooky monuments. Some places have scenic landscapes that make them feel alive, while others aren't so happy and lively, instead carrying dark, eerie energy that makes your hair stand on end. From gorgeous decorations made of human bones to spooky dolls, abandoned towns, and death-defying drops, the world is a mix of natural and paranormal horrors in different parts of the globe. Join us as we explore these top creepiest places across the entire globe. Sit tight and enjoy the ride, and without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Number 1. Allegheny Insane Asylum. Formerly known as Weston State Hospital, by 1864, it was hosting thousands of mentally ill patients. Hundreds died here before the facility closed in 1994. The spirits believed to haunt the site today date back to the Civil War era when the asylum site served as a military garrison. A paranormal tour of the facility includes this 2-hour visits to his 4 major hotspots at the facility. The more intense ghost hunt is his 8-hour overnight paranormal adventure with an experienced ghost hunter guide. Number 2. Cuban Club. The Cuban Club, which is known as Circulo Cubano de Tampa, is located in the Ybor City neighborhood of Tampa. In 1917, this place was a popular meeting place for Cuban immigrants. They enjoyed ballrooms, outdoor marching bands, and cantinas with stages and dance floors. Today, the site, protected on the National Register of Historic Places, hosts concerts and special events and has been the site of many ghost stories about ghosts playing the piano and rotting elevators. Number 3. Viliska Axe Murder House. On June 10, 1912, the old white-framed house at 508 East 2nd Street became the scene of a gruesome crime. The brutal murder of Josiah B. Moore, his wife, their 4 children, and 2 girl guests rocks the small town of Viliska, Iowa. And the killer has never been identified. Over the span of many years, residents of the house have reported visions of a man with an axe, a crying child, and unexplained paranormal phenomena. In 1994, the house was restored to its original condition without internal plumbing or electricity. These details add to the relaxed atmosphere during his lantern, his light, his tours, from April through November, as well as the launching experience available for groups by advance reservation. Number 4. Moundsville Prison. During its more than a whole of 100 years of operation, West Virginia's Moundsville Prison was one of America's most violent correctional facilities and the final destination for nearly 1,000 criminals. The prisoners lived in cramped rooms, which led to riots. Many men were hanged or electrocuted, while other prisoners murdered others. The prison was closed up in 1995, but as per to some, the tortured spirits are still behind bars and in the bowels of the prison, where they can be seen and heard on guided tours. Number 5. Sammy Dean. Another location that made it to our list today is located in Jerome, Arizona. Is a former copper mining town with a paranormal reputation that dates back to the Wild West. The town currently has just 400 inhabitants, up from 15,000 in its heyday, but legend has it that there are many more ghostly inhabitants from the days of mining accidents and gunfights. A familiar ghost is working-class girl Sammy Dean, a prostitute strangled by a client in the Old Crib neighborhood. Her beautiful ghost roams the alleys in search of the as-yet undiscovered killer. Number 6. Fort Mifflin. Fort Mifflin was built way back in the year 1771 and is the only intact Revolutionary War battlefield in the country. The Delaware River grounds are home to 14 restored buildings reportedly replete with booze from the past. Among the various ghosts said to haunt the fort was a screaming woman whose screams were so loud that Philadelphia police were called to investigate, but no one was found there. Other characters in local ghost stories include a faceless man who is seen to be wandering the fortress, tour guides in revolutionary costumes, and many children and dogs. Number 7. Tapia Theater. Puerto Rico is also known quite well for its natural beauty and rich history, the latter land offering itself some exotic experiences. One of the most recognized spooky sites on the island is the Teatro Tapia. a San Juan theater known for its plays, concerts, and paranormal activity. According to urban mythology, an actress who died while performing at the theater has returned to haunt the hall. Some visitors claim to have seen his ghost roaming the theater grounds. Others reported mysterious footsteps, doors opening and closing, and an unseen vocal ensemble emanating from the stage. Teatro Tapia still hosts regular ballet and music performances, so buy tickets to see some local acts, and possibly a local ghost while you're there. Number 8. Moon River Brewery. Moon River Brewery brought its beloved beer to Savannah in 1999, but the building is one of the oldest in the city, dating back to 1821. It was the city hotel of Civil War in its original incarnation. Men died in heavy fighting at the hotel, including a Yankee who was beaten to death by locals in 1860. Today, some bargoers say they've seen bottles mysteriously fly through the air and diners being pushed, touched, and hit by invisible forces. Some people, a resident apparition, Toby, is said to stalk the billiard room on the lookout for the next big bar fight. Number 9. Eastern State Penitentiary. The castle-like Eastern State Penitentiary took the whole idea of a solitary confinement to a whole new level when it was built in 1829. Prisoners lived alone, trained alone, and ate alone. When the inmate left the cell, the guards covered his head with a hood so that he could not be seen or seen. Gone, but the form of punishment became less severe. For example, having the tongue chained to the wrist of the prisoner. It was finally closed in 1970. This particular site also receives thousands of visitors each year, drawing people to it. It serves both as a museum and for Halloween celebrations. Reported paranormal phenomena included disembodied laughter, shadowy figures, and the sound of footsteps going back and forth. Number 10. The Hill of Crosses. Since the 14th century, a cross has been erected at this spot in northern Lithuania for various reasons. Throughout the Middle Ages, the symbol represented Lithuania's desire for independence. Then, after the peasant uprising of 1831, people began expanding the grounds to commemorate the dead rebels. During the Soviet occupation from 1944 to 1991, the mound again became a site of rebellion. The mound and crosses were bulldozed 3 times by Soviet troops, but locals continued to rebuild, and now it has more than 100,000 crosses lined up. In 2017, Egil Garulatide told the BBC, "When the wind blows over the fields of rural Salali County, ornate rosaries clink metal and wooden crosses, filling the air with eerie sounds," I wrote. Number 11. Obodni Canal. The Obodni Canal, which runs 8 kilometers through St. Petersburg, has another more sinister name, Suicide Canal. Since the construction of the artificial canal began in late 18th century, strange occurrences have unfolded at the site, including builders complaining of headaches, sudden outbreaks of violence, and of course, suicides. Most of the suicide attempts are successful, but those rescued claim they have no idea why they jumped into the water or why an unseen force pulled them from the bank. Some claim that it comes from the restless souls that lurk in the water, while others claim that they just saw a woman in white floating just below the surface of the water before suddenly disappearing. If you find yourself in St. Petersburg, stick to the sidewalks. Number 12. The Sallie House. Some believe that a girl's ghost visits the house or haunts anyone who dares live there. At first glance, it looks like a normal little house, but as soon as you step inside, it's eerie. Hundreds of people visit the Sallie House each year in Atchison, Kansas, about 50 miles north of Kansas City. And if you're adventurous enough to spend time there, be sure to visit the infamous Sallie House. The house is currently vacant and can be used for both day trips and overnight stays. A disclaimer is required due to the potential for personal injury, but no serious injuries have been reported since the last tenant in 1993. Psychics confirmed the presence of spirits in the home, and many actually communicated with them. And skeptics with strong senses, like believers, have also provided audio, video, and photographic proof of the bizarre events reported at the Sallie House. The home has been featured on television networks such as A&E, the Travel Channel, the Discovery Channel, BuzzFeed, Sci-Fi Channel, as well as various national journals and radio stations. Some researchers claim that a girl named Sallie never lived in the town, but some argue against it. However, once the lights go out and the door closes, what's really stirring on the inside of the house still stays a mystery. No matter where you go for a travel, you're bound to find some of the haunted spots and accompanying ghost tours. But even if you're not a fan of the paranormal, some of the creepiest places are worth your time, including beautiful architecture, stunning locations, and intriguing stories. Let us know what you think about these places we've covered. We're looking forward to your visit. Hurry and go to click on the notification bell to get notified every time we make a post, and subscribe to articles like this. Don't forget to like this video. See you in the next video.